climbed a little as a child, and like nothing ever serious, but I really enjoyed it. And I always thought, oh, I'd like to get back into that. As I got into my teenage years, I kind of wasn't doing it, and I kind of always thought I'd really like to do that again and whatnot. And then sort of I had this opportunity around in my early 20s to, I guess, get back into climbing. And that was when I really got into climbing. I joined a club and learned a lot through there, and I haven't stopped climbing since. And I think like just having that previous experience about knowing kind of what lead climbing was and knowing like a little bit about climbing, like I was really able to be like, okay, cool, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to progress. And I was able to progress quite quickly because of that, I'd say. I've come from New Zealand to come exclusively to Squamish to climb. It's a massive part of my life at the moment. I would say I'm passionate about it. It's driving pretty much all my life choices at the moment, from where I work, where I want to live, how I want to spend my time after work, and in the weekends and whatnot. So definitely, it's the major driving force of my life right now. I remember when I was getting into climbing, I felt like I was progressing pretty quickly, especially indoors. But it's definitely the transition from gym to crag was tough. You know, there was a learning curve, and so I was getting shut down on quite a few things, and I remember being a bit disheartened with that. And so instead of like building up the pyramid as people usually would, I decided to just skip a bunch of grades and try a line that I thought just looked really cool and really inspiring. So the climb was called Foo Fighter, and it was given a grade of 27, 7C or 12D, and it was this overhanging arete over looking over a lake in Kawakawa Bay in Taupo in the North Island. So I really put in a few trips trying to get that route, and that was my first what I would consider hard sport climb that I got. I hadn't climbed 26, 25, 24, probably not even 23 at that point, but I wanted to do this route to like prove to myself that I could climb hard outdoors. And once I sent that route, I remember thinking like, all right, I'm a sport climber now. I like hard red pointing and projecting routes. That's kind of my strength and what I like to do, and I like to be able to break down the route into like all its little pieces and try and make progress on every attempt. So I think like that's a really like how I approach my climbing, and it's what I really enjoy in climbing. Other characteristics, I think I'm like probably quite light and quite powerful, so I think that helps me. I enjoy the training, and you know, maybe not in the moment, but you know, getting into that routine of getting up early, to whether it's to go hangboard or whether to go do some strength and conditioning, or doing late nights, running circuits. You know, it's always just a little bit about getting better, and I've never regretted a workout. You know, once you're done, I've never regretted it. So it's easy to get into that stride of you know, of consistency, and once you do that, once you start seeing the gains, I think it's all worth it. like there's like obviously like my dream climbs and whatnot that I'd like to do, and I don't know how realistic they are at this point in time. I mean, obviously, like I think the Big Show is like a really good progression. There's a lot of grades on there that go through the scale, so it's good to be able to do link up there and then try a harder one, and I think that's going to be a really good like sort of metric for how I'm progressing. But then, you know, climbing on different rock types and different styles is completely different, and it makes you feel like a beginner again for sure. But you know, this year I'd like to do you know, permanent waves on the Cacodema boulder, Eurasian Eyes up in the Bullet Heads. Those are two like classic Squamish sport climbs, which I think would be really good to do in the next 12 months or so.